On the other side of working restoratively is the freedom to teach young people about ways to behave more kindly, more effectively in context. One of the mistakes we make, and this is often something that we see really clearly when we get to the other side of the adversarial model, is that we've spent too much time teaching behaviour to young people out of context. We might take them into the classroom and teach them a lesson about respect and get them to build a fabulous poster about respect, and we give them a really good mark on the poster about respect, and then we watch a couple of kids go out into the yard and bop another kid over the head with a rolled up respect poster. The truth is they didn't get better at respect because we made a poster about it. They got better at poster making. And what we want to do is to help them learn how to behave better in the context where the impulse for some of these negative behaviours occurs. On the other side of the adversarial model, you might adjust the way you work on yard duty. And it'll be a little scary because there'll be moments where, like the one I experienced not so long ago, where I was walking with a teacher on yard duty and we could see a group of boys who were playing cricket. And we could see that there was just that moment when you're playing cricket where the batter insists that he's not out, the bowler insists that he is out, fielders converge with varying opinions and various support for either clan, and it's about to get a little bit testy. And the teacher that was walking with me said, "Oh, I think we better go over there." And I said, "I don't think so." And she said, "What do you mean? Don't we need to prevent this from going on?" And I said, "I don't think we do at all. Actually, I think this is wonderful. I think lunchtime arguments are awesome. And one of the worst things we can do a lot of the time is get in the way. I think that as teachers, we could even take sometimes the counterintuitive view that we should just let the kids fight it out." And so that's what we did. We watched these students negotiate. We watched them compromise. We watched them set new rules for the future. And they sorted it out without the need for authoritarian figures to show up in the middle of their cricket match, without anybody needing to show up and apportion blame to certain people based on flimsy evidence. And we discovered when we were doing a little bit of reflection about this, that the better work done as a teacher, even a teacher on yard duty, would be to speak to the boys as they assemble for their game of cricket and say to them, "Hey guys, how are you going to make this work today?" Get their ideas and go, "That's awesome. I might check in with you later and see how those little agreements you've come up with there went." And then we do check in. Maybe as they're walking from the yard back to their classrooms at the end of lunchtime, we could say, how'd you go with that first agreement, second, third? What we might even do is wander over during lunchtime and say to them, "Hey, this is brilliant. I can see that this seems to be working quite well," and encourage them to keep going. What we could even do at lunchtime is cultivate this wonderful social skilling that they're developing. And let's be honest, if you can run a game of cricket without an umpire and nobody getting hurt, then you're probably going all right. You've probably got some pretty good kids on your hands. They might even be masters of that. They could even teach the younger students over there who really need to learn how to run a game of cricket without an argument. We can cultivate this really good behaviour and allow it to kind of go viral across the yard at lunchtime, thereby making yard duty a lot easier. When you embrace this idea that on the other side of the adversarial mindset, we work with the young people rather than do things to them and act like sentinels on yard duty or in any other supervisory capacity, we start to reject what I call restrictive practices. So you know what? The answer to problems at lunchtime is not to make lunchtime shorter. The answer to difficulties, spats and arguments occurring at lunchtime is not to put more teachers on yard duty, thereby denying them their lunch. The answer is to help our young people get better at solving their problems themselves. It's to work with them rather than doing things to them all the time.